What's so funny? Lessons from Canada's Leacock Medal for Humour Writing. Lesson number 18. How to keep sane amid the insanity of war. Hi, I'm Dick Bourgeois Doyle, and this is a review of the 1965 Leacock Medal winner, War Stories by Gregory Clark. Gregory Clark's 1965 Leacock Medal book describes bloody, plotting conflict in 2 world wars. Its title, War Stories, is not misleading. But collectively, these stories also describe a different battle. The one, to stay sane amid insanity and to maintain a sense of humor. I hope never to have the face-to-face familiarity with war that Gregory Clark had, but like all of humanity and its peculiar subset of aspiring writers, I have my own interest in Clark's experience and example. Books about war often take one of 2 approaches: the soldier's close-up experience of death and ruin, or the military strategist's sanitized view from afar. But Clark, a decorated Vimy Ridge officer in the First World War and an embedded correspondent throughout the Second, speaks as a veteran soldier who also has the journalist's capacity to analyze and observe. The combination of detachment and personal experience gave him the inclination to look at the absurdities of war with some sensitivity. The book draws its material from Clark's feature articles in Weekend magazine. In War Stories, the difficult subject matter and the magazine format were merged into a refined technique. Almost all of the stories are either heart-wrenching stories with a lighter twist at the end, or humorous episodes punctuated by a reminder of the war. Clark tells of a mob attack on a French woman who had been involved with a German soldier. Then the story jumps ahead to the day years later when the German boy came back and married her. The sad tale of an old Italian woman transforms when she's revealed to be the protector of escaping Allied POWs. In one of the lighter stories, Clark describes a day spent fly fishing in southern England. He realizes that he's standing in streams celebrated by the iconic book Where the Bright Waters Meet. And that day ends with a supper of fresh fish and talk of that book. But that's not the end of the story. One last sentence adds a typical Clark twist. The order presently came, and the young men piled into their lorries, and we went down to the sea. It was 1944. The men were off to Normandy. Gregory Clark was in his 50s during the Second World War, and he could have easily avoided the grimness that time around. He had done his part in the First World War, in 1916, at Sanctuary Wood. In that battle, his battalion dropped from 22 officers and 680 men to 3 officers and 78 men in just 2 days of fighting. 4 months later, after reinforcements arrived, that same battalion lost another 1,000 men at the Somme. But Clark returned to the battles a few decades later and worked the World War II front lines, only coming home after the death of James Murray Clark of the Regina Rifle Regiments in 1944. Somehow, Clark emerged from the wars, the loss of his son, and later personal tragedies with the ability to hold on to those thoughts of fly fishing, to care for others, and to celebrate the softer side up to the end of his own life. Again, the answer may lie in the combined journalist-soldier capacity to stand back and observe, even though you still relate and feel. This may be, more than any technical writing tricks, the greatest lesson Greg Clark's War Stories offers to those of us who hope to write, persevere, and keep a sense of humor in the wake of our own inevitable heartbreaks and setbacks. Now here's a writing exercise based on war stories. As a first-wave soldier, realistically describe D-Day, ending your story with a humorous twist.